I mean, Nikola Jokic is just by far the best player in the NBA. He had a ridiculous performance against the Wizards last night. He dropped 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists as well. And yes, they did lose to the Wizards, which is something you don't want to see for the Nuggets without Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. So you have to look there with the injuries. But Nikola Jokic had a career high in regular season points with 56, and that's the second all time in Nuggets history. And also, Nikola Jokic was very efficient from three and the field as well. He shot 58% from the field and he shot 60% flat from the 3-point line. And Nikola Jokic, before this game even, is having an all-time season. Like, he is the front runner for MVP by far. And I would be genuinely shocked if Nikola Jokic doesn't win the MVP. And that will now be Jokic's fourth MVP in his career. And I'm making this video more so not to talk about the best player in the world conversations, because I honestly think Jokic is above that level now. There's guys like Giannis who are playing at an MVP level, guys like Shea, Luka, Tatum. They're all great players, but Nikola Jokic is really in a world of his own. And I think it's time we start having, where is Nikola Jokic in top 10 all-time conversations? And where would you guys put Nikola Jokic all time? Because if he wins another MVP, which I think he definitely will, 4 MVPs. Who has 4 MVPs? LeBron James. Jordan has 5. Kareem has 6. I mean, Nikola Jokic is up there with the greatest players of all time. Those are definitely the top 3 greatest players of all time. And Jokic would be tied with, LeBron, who's either 1 and 2 in most people's GOAT debates. And he's also got a ring. He's got a finals MVP. Now, that's something if you want to put him higher in the top 10 conversation, or you want to rank him as a top 10 player of all time. I think Jokic is going to need more rings and more finals MVPs, but he's still playing on a good Denver Nuggets team, even though they don't look as good they don't look as good this year as they did last year. And last year, they didn't even make it to the Western Conference Finals. But if Jokic really does win that 4th MVP, if he can maybe win 1 or 2 more rings with Finals MVPs in his career and maybe another MVP, Jokic is definitely going to be a top 10 player of all time. I mean, the stuff that Jokic does on the court is unworldly. I mean, the other thing we have to talk about is Jokic is probably going to finish his career as the all-time triple-double leader over Russell Westbrook, Oscar Robertson. I know LeBron's up there on the ranking as well, but Jokic is probably going to have the most triple-doubles of all time in NBA history as a center who is almost 7 foot tall. I mean, that is just ridiculous. The things that Jokic can do on the court, his playmaking is unworldly. He's probably the best passing big of all time by far, and maybe one of the best passers of all time in general, because right now in the NBA, I would say Jokic is a top 3 passer in basketball, probably the best facilitator, not just at actually throwing the passes, but probably is the best facilitator. He draws so much attention to himself scoring the ball. Like in this game against the Wizards, he can score 50 points any night he wants to, but he chooses to be a facilitator to help his team. And I think he's the best playmaker in the NBA right now, even over guys like LeBron, Trae Young, Luka. I think Jokic is the best playmaker in the NBA. So we're talking about a guy this season who is averaging 30 points per game, right? Which is, I think, top 5 or maybe even top 3 now in the points per game in the NBA, behind guys like Giannis. And I think he's probably number 2. Maybe a guy like Shea, I think, is at 30 points as well. But he's also leading the league in rebounds, 13.5 per game. He's grabbing 4 offensive rebounds per night. And he also is averaging over 10 assists per game. I'm pretty sure he's second behind Trae Young, who's averaging a ridiculous amount. So we're talking about a 7-foot center who's averaging a 30-point triple-double, leading league in rebounds, almost leading the league in points per game, and he's almost leading the league in every statistical category: points per game, assists per game, and rebounds per game. He also is almost getting you 2 steals a night as a center. He is also shooting 50% from 3 as a center on 4 attempts per game. I mean, the stuff that Nikola Jokic is doing is really unheard of. He also has an amazing true shooting percentage this year. I believe it's close to 65%. His accolades are off the charts, right? If he's going to win this MVP, which I think it's almost a given, right? Unless Nikola Jokic gets injured, unless the Nuggets finishes like the 10 seed or the 12 seed, I don't see a world where Nikola Jokic doesn't win MVP this season, which means he's going to have 4. And his defense is also solid. That's another thing with Nikola Jokic that we don't talk about, is he is a very underrated defender. By no means is Nikola Jokic a great defender. No. But he is a very, very good defender, the most special player in basketball. And sometimes I feel like we take him a little bit for granted because of the way that he plays, right? He's not the most athletic player in the NBA. He's not got the most flashy highlights. He doesn't probably have that many highlights, to be honest, that's posted on like ESPN and all these, sports media accounts and Instagram accounts. He probably isn't posted that often, but Nikola Jokic, the way he plays the basketball, I really believe Nikola Jokic is a top 5, maybe top 3 offensive player of all time. And now I don't mean scorer, I mean offensive player when we're also including playmaking, because yes, Jordan, LeBron, I would say those are the 2 best offensive players of all time. Jordan Moore just has elite scoring, can also pass the ball and still facilitate in other ways. And LeBron, the all-time points leader, a really, really good playmaker, probably one of the best playmakers of all time. After those 2 guys, yeah, you got to look at guys like Wilt and Kobe, who were elite scorers. Kareem, he's number 2 all time. And, Magic Johnson, he's a really good playmaker, but he didn't score the ball that often. Where Nikola Jokic, he is an elite scorer, maybe not in the athletic way that Jordan and LeBron score the ball, but he scores the ball just as efficiently, maybe even a lot more than efficient than a guy like LeBron and Jordan. But the thing about Jokic is he's got that size while still being able to play make just as good as a guy like LeBron. So I really do believe Nikola Jokic is starting to become all time a top 5, maybe even top 3 offensive player. And that's ridiculous to say. This guy has just turned 30 years old. Now, the thing with Jokic is, how long is he going to play for, right? We all know he's not that much of a, he doesn't enjoy his job, as he said before. He doesn't enjoy playing in the NBA as much as a guy like LeBron or as pretty much any other NBA player. It doesn't seem like he loves playing in the NBA, but if we can get another 5, maybe 4 to 5 MVP seasons out of Jokic where he's still playing as the best player in the world, he's probably going to win another ring or 2. And if he does, winning finals MVP, maybe gets another regular season MVP, puts him up to about 5. If he finishes his career with 5 regular season MVPs, even just 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs, he finishes the all-time triple doubles leader. I mean, I think he's got to be a top 10 player of all time, but yes, he's the best player in the world. I don't think that was a question. I just wanted to make this video to talk about Nikola Jokic's crazy performance against the Washington Wizards and really talk about where Jokic is going to finish all time, because I don't think it's crazy to say even right now he's a top 15 player of all time. I think he's right up there with guys like Giannis and Kevin Durant, and I think he's maybe even past those guys, and both those guys I would say are hovering around the top 15 all-time ranking. So let me know in the comment section down below, where do you guys have Jokic all time in the NBA? Do you have him as a top 10 player, top 15, top 20, top 25? And also let me know, where do you guys think Nikola Jokic is going to finish his career? But let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.